If you keep waking up around 3 a.m., and the moment your eyes open, something inside your body feels strangely wrong, like your system suddenly became alert before your mind even caught up. This may be connected to a hidden nighttime pattern most people never notice. Your chest feels unusual. Your body instantly wants to shift positions, and your brain suddenly feels awake for no clear reason. Sometimes you turn to one side and feel temporary relief. Then minutes later, the discomfort quietly returns again. You adjust the pillow, move your legs, roll onto your back, then onto your other side, without even thinking about it. Almost like your body is searching for something all night long. And what surprises many people over 60 is that these strange nighttime reactions often begin long before the person fully notices them. Because in many cases, the body starts responding silently during sleep itself. Not loudly, not dramatically, but through subtle internal signals most people ignore for years. And the real reason this keeps happening is not what most people think.
You've probably noticed this happening more often than you admit to yourself. One night it starts with a strange pressure deep in your chest. Another night, your heartbeat suddenly feels louder the moment you lie a certain way. Not necessarily painful, not dramatic enough to panic you, but unusual enough to make your body feel slightly uneasy in the dark. And once you notice it, your mind suddenly becomes more alert, as if your body quietly switched into observation mode while you were sleeping. Some nights, your shoulder feels strangely uncomfortable against the mattress. Other nights, your breathing feels shallow for reasons you cannot fully explain. You adjust your position, hoping the sensation will disappear. Sometimes it helps for a few minutes. Sometimes the discomfort follows you into the next position almost immediately. And even when you are exhausted, your body still refuses to fully relax, almost like something internally keeps interrupting the process of resting. And this is where many people begin feeling confused, without understanding why.
You may even notice yourself becoming unusually aware of small sensations at night. The pressure in your ribs, the tension in your neck, the weight on one side of your body, the strange feeling that one sleeping position suddenly feels wrong. Not dangerous, just off in a way that is difficult to describe to other people. And most people dismiss these patterns long before they realize how often they happen. Think about how many times you've turned from one side to the other during the night, searching for that one position that finally feels comfortable enough to stay in. Sometimes you move without even waking up completely. Other times your eyes suddenly open and you immediately feel the urge to adjust your body. You move the blanket, shift your shoulder, lift your head slightly from the pillow, almost like your body keeps trying to solve a problem silently while you sleep. And the strange part is that many people never connect these experiences together. They assume that it's just aging, stress, poor sleep habits, maybe anxiety, maybe nothing at all. But when the same reactions repeat night after night in slightly different ways, your body may already be responding to a deeper internal pattern most people completely miss.
Because these sensations rarely happen randomly. The body usually reacts before the conscious mind fully understands what is happening. And once these nighttime reactions begin repeating consistently, the brain slowly starts expecting disruption before sleep even fully begins. That is why some people feel tired all day, yet strangely alert the moment they lie down at night. And what may actually be triggering this hidden nighttime response becomes even more surprising once you see how different people experience it differently. For some people, sleeping on one side seems to calm everything down almost immediately. Their breathing feels smoother, their chest relaxes, their body finally settles into the mattress. And for a moment, it feels like they have finally found the right position.
the position that allows the night to continue peacefully. But for other people, that exact same position creates the opposite reaction entirely. Instead of relief, pressure slowly begins to build. Their shoulder starts feeling heavy, their chest feels tighter, their heartbeat suddenly becomes more noticeable in the silence of the night. And sometimes the discomfort grows so gradually, they do not even realize their body has become tense again until they suddenly wake up. Almost like the body silently crossed some invisible limit during sleep. And this is where the experience becomes deeply confusing for many people. Because most people assume the problem must simply be stress, or anxiety, or aging, or poor sleep habits that somehow became worse over time. They tell themselves it is probably normal, something that just happens after a certain age. But the body does not usually react differently night after night without a reason, especially when the same patterns keep quietly repeating themselves each night. In fact, the position that feels comfortable at first can slowly begin creating subtle internal signals over time during the night. Pressure changes, muscle tension, breathing shifts, circulation adjustments the brain monitors automatically while you sleep. And because these changes happen gradually, most people never notice the exact moment their body starts reacting to them.
That is why many nighttime wake-ups feel so sudden and confusing. You fall asleep normally, everything feels fine at first. Then hours later, your eyes suddenly open for no clear reason. Your body immediately wants to move. Your chest feels different. Your nervous system suddenly feels alert again, almost like your body detected something before your conscious mind did. And what makes this even stranger is that two people can experience completely different symptoms from the exact same hidden pattern. One person feels pressure, another feels restlessness, another feels shallow breathing, another simply cannot stop changing positions all night long. Different sensations, different reactions, but the deeper mechanism connecting all of them is where things become even more interesting. I'm Dr. William Harris, a sleep specialist, and over the years I began noticing a strange pattern in people who constantly woke up during the night, especially adults over 60. Many of them described nearly identical experiences without realizing how connected they actually were. The same nighttime restlessness, the same unexplained discomfort that appeared without warning, the same feeling that their body simply could not stay settled for very long. And the more I listened to these stories, the more unusual the pattern became.
Some people described a strange pressure building slowly in the chest. Others talked about constantly switching positions throughout the night without understanding why. Many said they felt exhausted during the day, yet strangely alert the moment they lay down at night. And almost all of them repeated one phrase in different ways. Something just feels off when I try to sleep. Not sharp pain, not dramatic symptoms, just a subtle internal discomfort they could never fully explain. At first, many assumed the issue was purely psychological. Stress, anxiety, aging. But what stood out to me was how physical these reactions often were. The body reacted first, then the brain became alert afterward. And that sequence started appearing again and again in people with fragmented sleep. What fascinated me most was not simply the fact that people woke up repeatedly during the night. It was what happened in the body moments before those wake-ups occurred. Tiny changes most people never consciously notice. Subtle shifts in breathing, pressure adjustments, muscle tension building slowly over time while asleep. Almost like the body was responding to silent signals before the person fully awakened.
And once I started paying closer attention to these nighttime patterns, something else became impossible to ignore. Many people experienced the same chain of reactions, regardless of their sleep habits daily. Some had healthy routines, some avoided caffeine completely,
Some exercised regularly and still woke up exhausted every morning, which suggested the real issue was happening deeper inside the nighttime sleep process itself. And that possibility changed the way I started looking at these wake-ups entirely. Because when the body repeatedly reacts during sleep, it usually means some internal system is staying more alert than it should. Not enough to fully wake the person immediately, but enough to slowly disrupt the body throughout the night in subtle waves. And once those hidden reactions begin repeating consistently, the nervous system can start anticipating them before sleep even becomes deep, which may explain why so many people feel trapped in this exhausting cycle night after night. But the real reason the body starts reacting this way goes much deeper than most people realize.
This isn't random. And despite what many people believe, your body is not simply breaking down during the night. In many cases, these strange nighttime reactions are actually part of a protective response happening automatically while you sleep. The body notices subtle changes long before the conscious mind does. That is why so many people wake up confused without understanding what triggered it, because the reaction often begins silently beneath the surface first. And once you understand that, these nighttime patterns start looking very different. During sleep, your nervous system never completely shuts off. Even while you are deeply asleep, the brain continues monitoring your breathing, circulation, pressure levels, muscle tension, and body positioning. It constantly checks whether the body still feels stable and safe enough to remain fully relaxed. Most people never think about this because the process happens automatically every single night. But the moment something starts feeling slightly off, even in a subtle way, your nervous system can quietly shift into a more alert state without fully waking you immediately. And that hidden shift changes more than most people realize.
Sometimes the reaction begins with breathing changes so small you never consciously notice them. Other times, it starts with pressure building gradually on one side of the body. In some people, circulation patterns subtly shift while lying in certain positions for too long. The body detects these changes automatically, not emotionally, not dramatically, but biologically. And once the nervous system detects enough discomfort signals, it starts preparing the body to respond. That response can appear in many different forms: restlessness, position changes, sudden awakenings, a strange feeling of alertness at 3 a.m. for no obvious reason, or the overwhelming urge to move your body even while exhausted. Many people assume these reactions are random interruptions, but your body usually reacts this way because it believes something internally needs adjustment. And this is where most people misunderstand what is happening. They think the wake-up itself is the problem, but often the wake-up is only the final stage of a much longer internal process that began earlier during sleep, long before the eyes opened, long before the person became consciously aware of anything unusual. The nervous system may already have been monitoring discomfort signals for quite some time.
And the longer those signals continue building, the stronger the body's reaction can eventually become. That is why these nighttime patterns tend to repeat so consistently over time. The body is not malfunctioning. It is responding, trying to adapt, trying to protect itself while sleep is happening. And once certain nighttime reactions become deeply conditioned in the nervous system, the body can begin anticipating them night after night before sleep even fully deepens. But the hidden mechanism driving those reactions still goes much deeper than most people imagine. What you're feeling is something I call a night mismatch. A night mismatch happens when your body and your sleeping position slowly stop working well together during the night. At first, everything may feel completely normal. You fall asleep without thinking anything is wrong. Your body relaxes, your breathing slows down. But underneath the surface, subtle internal changes may already be starting to build quietly over time.
Sometimes it begins with pressure accumulating slowly in one area of the body. Sometimes breathing becomes slightly more restricted in certain sleeping positions. Sometimes muscle tension develops on one side without the person realizing it.
And sometimes the discomfort is so subtle. The brain notices it before you consciously do. That is why many people suddenly wake up feeling strange without understanding what caused it. Because the body often detects the imbalance first, and the nervous system immediately begins responding in the background. And when that happens, your body sends what I call a body flip signal. A body flip signal is an internal alert response designed to push the body toward movement during sleep. Not dramatic movement, not panic, just enough internal discomfort to make the body want to reposition itself. Change sides, adjust posture. Sometimes the signal feels like restlessness. Sometimes it feels like pressure in the chest that suddenly disappears after moving. Sometimes you feel an overwhelming urge to shift your legs or shoulders without knowing why. And other times, you wake up suddenly with the strange feeling that your body simply could not stay in that position any longer. Almost like your nervous system quietly interrupted sleep to force an adjustment. Most people assume these reactions are meaningless, but the body usually does not repeatedly interrupt sleep without a reason, especially when the same patterns continue happening night after night. The important thing to understand is that this does not necessarily happen because the body is damaged. In many cases, the body is trying to prevent deeper discomfort from building during sleep. The nervous system recognizes that a position no longer feels fully stable or comfortable. So instead of allowing you to remain completely still, it triggers subtle internal signals that encourage movement before the discomfort becomes stronger. And this process often happens automatically, without conscious awareness, which is why so many people feel confused by their own nighttime behavior. And this is where most people completely misunderstand what's happening. They focus only on the wake-ups themselves, or blame stress, or aging, or insomnia, without realizing the body may actually be reacting to a hidden positional mismatch occurring repeatedly throughout the night. A mismatch the nervous system keeps trying to correct over and over again while you sleep. And once you see what can quietly trigger that mismatch in the first place, the entire pattern starts making even more sense. This can show up in very different ways depending on the person. For some people, acid reflux suddenly becomes worse during the middle of the night. They wake up with a burning sensation in the chest or throat that seems to appear out of nowhere. Others notice a strange heaviness on one side of the chest while lying in a certain position. Some people feel pressure building slowly in the shoulder or upper back. And many describe the uncomfortable sensation that their body simply cannot stay relaxed for very long. Almost like something keeps quietly interrupting the process of resting. And the strange part is that these reactions often seem completely unrelated at first. Some people feel like they cannot take a fully satisfying deep breath while lying down. Not severe enough to panic them, but noticeable enough that their body becomes more alert. They shift positions, hoping the sensation disappears. Sometimes it improves immediately. Other times the discomfort returns again later in the night, without warning. And over time, the body begins associating certain positions with subtle internal stress signals, even if the person never consciously realizes it.
Others experience something even more confusing. They feel physically exhausted when they go to bed. Their eyes feel heavy, their body feels drained from the day. But the moment they lie still for too long, something internally refuses to settle down completely. Their nervous system remains strangely active beneath the surface, almost like the body keeps waiting for something to feel right before fully relaxing. Think about how many times you may have felt tired, yet still found yourself repositioning over and over during the night, adjusting the pillow, moving your shoulder, shifting your hips, turning from one side to the other without fully waking up. Most people assume these are meaningless sleep movements, but in many cases, the body may actually be responding to ongoing internal discomfort signals throughout the night. And the longer the body flip signal stays active, the more fragmented sleep can quietly become. Not necessarily full awakenings every time. Sometimes just subtle interruptions deep enough to pull the brain out of restorative sleep cycles. The person may never even remember most of these disruptions by morning. They simply wake up exhausted, foggy, unrested in a way that becomes harder to explain over time.
And this is where the deeper problem slowly begins building beneath the surface. Because once the nervous system starts repeatedly interrupting sleep night after night, the brain can begin expecting discomfort before sleep even fully begins. That anticipation alone can make the body more reactive during the night, more sensitive to pressure, more sensitive to positioning, more likely to trigger another body flip signal again. And what eventually starts amplifying this entire cycle surprises most people once they finally notice it. And the strange part is, the more people try to force themselves to stay completely still during the night, the worse the discomfort often becomes. At first, they think remaining motionless will finally help them stay asleep longer. So they ignore the pressure, ignore the restlessness, ignore the subtle urge their body keeps sending over and over again. But the nervous system rarely stops reacting just because the conscious mind wants it to. So the body reacts again. Another adjustment, another unconscious movement, another slight shift in position the brain initiates automatically during sleep. Sometimes the person barely notices it happening.
Other times, they suddenly wake up for a few seconds and immediately reposition themselves without understanding why. Then they fall asleep again, only for the cycle to quietly repeat later in the night. And over time, these repeated interruptions begin changing the quality of sleep itself. Sleep becomes lighter, more fragmented, less restorative than it used to feel years ago. Even after spending 7 or 8 hours in bed, the body still wakes up feeling strangely drained. The mind feels foggy in the morning. Energy disappears faster throughout the day. And many people start believing they simply aren't sleeping deeply anymore as they age, without realizing their nervous system may still be reacting silently all night long. Most people never remember the full pattern by morning. They only remember waking up tired. They do not remember every small movement, every subtle awakening, every hidden adjustment triggered by the body flip signal throughout the night. Because many of these reactions happen below conscious awareness, while the brain repeatedly shifts in and out of deeper sleep cycles. And that is exactly what makes this pattern so difficult to recognize early on. The exhaustion appears obvious long before the mechanism behind it does.
Think about how many times you may have woken up feeling like you barely rested at all, even though you technically slept for hours. Your body feels heavy, your concentration feels slower, you become more sensitive to stress during the day. And by nighttime, the cycle quietly begins again almost automatically. The body prepares for sleep, while the nervous system remains more alert beneath the surface than it should be. And the longer this hidden cycle repeats, the more conditioned the body can become to these nighttime disruptions. The brain starts anticipating discomfort before sleep fully deepens. The nervous system becomes increasingly reactive to subtle positional changes, which means even small pressure shifts can begin triggering stronger body flip signals over time. And once that pattern becomes deeply established, breaking the cycle becomes much harder than most people realize, especially when the real trigger behind it still remains hidden in plain sight. And this is exactly why some people started looking for ways to help their body calm this response more naturally, not by forcing themselves to sleep harder, not by trying to ignore the discomfort night after night.
And not by relying only on heavy sedation that simply shuts the brain down temporarily. Because many people eventually realize the real problem is not just falling asleep, it is the body repeatedly reacting during sleep itself. And once they understand that, They begin searching for support that works with the body instead of against it, especially after years of fragmented nights and unexplained exhaustion. What many people find surprising is that certain nighttime support methods are now being used specifically to help reduce the body flip signal response naturally, not by overpowering the nervous system, but by helping the body feel more stable and relaxed during sleep. Some approaches focus on supporting circulation. Others focus on calming internal tension patterns the nervous system monitors at night. And some are designed to help the body maintain deeper comfort signals for longer periods while asleep, which may explain why some people suddenly notice fewer nighttime interruptions over time. And this is where things become especially interesting for adults over 60. Because as the body changes with age, the nervous system often becomes more sensitive to subtle discomfort signals during sleep.
Small positional pressure changes that once went unnoticed can start triggering stronger nighttime reactions, which means the body flip signal may activate more easily than it used to years earlier. That is one reason many doctors have started paying closer attention to nighttime body positioning and internal sleep comfort patterns, not just insomnia itself, but the deeper physical reactions happening underneath it. Some doctors have even started recommending specific nighttime support options designed to help the body calm these internal alert patterns more naturally, especially for people constantly waking up around 3 a.m. without understanding why. The goal is not to knock the body out. The goal is to reduce the hidden discomfort signals that may be triggering repeated nighttime reactions in the first place. And for many people, that shift in understanding changes everything, because they stop blaming themselves and start realizing their body may have been trying to communicate something important all along, something subtle most people completely overlook. There's one doctor-approved option many people have been quietly talking about recently, particularly among adults struggling with nighttime restlessness and repeated position changes during sleep.
What makes it interesting is that it was designed specifically to support the body's ability to calm the night mismatch response more naturally during the night, without harsh sedation, without creating dependency, and without forcing the body into unnatural sleep patterns. I left more information about it in the pinned comment below for anyone curious to learn how it works, because once people understand what the body flip signal actually is, the entire conversation around sleep begins changing. But here's what matters most. People are finally starting to realize these nighttime wake-ups may not be random after all. The exhaustion, the constant repositioning, the strange pressure sensations, the sudden alertness at 3 a.m., all of it may be connected to a hidden biological pattern the body has been repeating silently for years. And what actually causes that night mismatch to begin in the first place becomes even more surprising once you look deeper into what happens inside the brain during sleep. So if you consistently wake up around 3 a.m., switch positions over and over throughout the night, or feel like your body never completely settles no matter how tired you are, this may not be your fault.
Many people spend years blaming stress, aging, or poor sleep habits without realizing their body may actually be reacting to something much deeper. Because in many cases, these nighttime wake-ups are not random interruptions at all. They are responses, silent biological reactions happening beneath the surface while you sleep. Your body may actually be trying to help you, trying to protect you from remaining in a position that no longer feels fully stable or comfortable during the night. That is why the urge to move can feel so automatic, why your body suddenly changes sides without conscious thought, why certain positions feel fine at first, then strangely uncomfortable hours later. The nervous system constantly monitors these shifts while you sleep, and once subtle discomfort signals build long enough, the body flip signal quietly activates again, even if you never fully remember it happening by morning. And once people finally understand the possibility of a night mismatch, those strange nighttime sensations suddenly begin making far more sense. The unexplained pressure, the shallow breathing, the repeated awakenings around the same time every night, the constant repositioning that never seemed important before.
Many people describe feeling relieved once they realized their body was not simply failing them, it was reacting, trying to adapt to internal signals most people never consciously notice during sleep itself. That realization alone changes how many people think about sleep forever. Because instead of fighting their body, they begin understanding what their body may actually be communicating through these repeated nighttime reactions. The body does not usually create patterns this consistent without a reason, especially when the same sensations repeat night after night for months or even years. And the more these hidden signals continue building beneath the surface, the more sensitive the nervous system can eventually become during sleep itself, which may explain why the cycle slowly becomes harder to ignore over time. Think about how many people wake up exhausted every morning without ever realizing their nervous system may have stayed partially active throughout the entire night. Not fully awake, but never fully relaxed either. Their body keeps responding, adjusting, correcting, repeating the same silent survival pattern again and again, while sleep becomes lighter over time.
But what actually causes a night mismatch in the first place is not what most people think, because the real trigger may have less to do with sleep itself and far more to do with hidden changes happening inside the body long before bedtime even begins. Changes that quietly affect pressure, breathing, circulation, nervous system sensitivity, and nighttime body positioning all at once. And once those hidden changes start interacting together during sleep, the body flip signal can become far more active than most people ever realize, which opens an entirely deeper layer of this nighttime pattern that very few people have ever been told about.